In a time when the Israelites were under harsh oppression by the Philistines, there lived a man named Manoah in the town of Zorah. He and his wife from the tribe of Dan had no children. One day, an angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife and delivered a message that would change everything. "You have been barren," the angel said, "but soon you will conceive and give birth to a son. Be careful. Don't drink wine, eat anything unclean, or cut the boy's hair. He will be a Nazirite, set apart for God from birth, and he will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistines." When her husband heard the news, he prayed that the messenger would return and guide them on how to raise the child. God answered, and the angel came back. He repeated the same message. Their son was to be dedicated to God and live by strict vows. In time, the woman gave birth to a son and named him Samson. As he grew, God's blessing was upon him, and the Spirit of the Lord stirred within him, especially when he was in the region between Zorah and Eshtaol. Years later, as a young man, Samson went down to a town called Timnah. There he saw a Philistine woman and wanted to marry her. His parents were troubled, asking, "Can't you find a wife among your own people?" But Samson insisted this woman was the one he wanted. What they didn't know was that this was part of God's plan to confront the Philistines. On his way to Timnah, Samson was suddenly attacked by a roaring lion. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and with his bare hands, Samson tore the beast apart like it was nothing. He told no one what had happened. Later, when passing the same place, he saw the lion's carcass, and inside it, a swarm of bees and honey. He scooped some out, ate it, and shared it with his parents, not telling them where it came from. At his wedding feast, Samson posed a riddle to the 30 Philistine guests. Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. If they could solve it within 7 days, he'd give them fine clothes. If not, they'd owe him. After several days of guessing, the guests pressured Samson's new wife to get the answer from him. She wept and pleaded until he finally told her. She, in turn, told them. On the final day, they answered, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Realizing he had been betrayed, Samson was furious. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him again, and he struck down 30 Philistines in another town, took their clothes, and gave them to the men who had solved the riddle. Still angry, he left the wedding and returned home. His bride was given to someone else. Later, during the harvest season, Samson returned with a gift, wanting to visit his wife, but her father had given her away. Furious again, Samson caught 300 foxes, tied them in pairs with torches on their tails, and set them loose in the Philistines' grain fields. The fire destroyed their crops, vineyards, and groves. In retaliation, the Philistines burned Samson's former wife and her father. Enraged, Samson attacked them viciously. He then retreated to hide in a cave. The Philistines came to Judah, demanding that the people hand over Samson. To avoid conflict, 3,000 men from Judah went to Samson and asked him to surrender. He agreed, on the condition they wouldn't kill him themselves. They bound him and delivered him to the Philistines. As the Philistines approached, the Spirit of the Lord empowered Samson again. He broke the ropes like burned thread, found a donkey's jawbone, and used it to strike down 1,000 men. Later, exhausted and thirsty, Samson cried out to God, and God miraculously opened a rock to provide water. Years passed, and Samson went to Gaza, where he was spotted staying with a woman. The people waited to ambush him, but at midnight, Samson got up, lifted the gates of the city, and carried them up a hill, another display of his strength. Eventually, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah. The Philistine leaders offered her a fortune to discover the secret of his strength. She begged Samson repeatedly, and though he misled her at first, he finally confessed, "No razor has ever touched my head. I am a Nazirite. If my hair is cut, my strength will leave me." Delilah betrayed him. While he slept, his hair was cut and his strength vanished. The Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and imprisoned him. But in the darkness of prison, his hair began to grow again. Later, during a celebration in a temple filled with thousands of Philistines, Samson was brought out to entertain them. He asked the servant boy to place his hands on the central pillars. Then he prayed one last time, "Lord, strengthen me once more." With all his might, Samson pushed. The pillars collapsed, and the entire temple fell, killing everyone inside, including Samson. In that final moment, he defeated more enemies in death than he had during his life.